This is your 420 Radio News for Wednesday, December 18th, 2013. I'm Russ Belville. Increasing marijuana use in high school is reported from the New York Times. A new federal report shows that the percentage of American high school students who smoke marijuana is slowly rising, while the use of alcohol and almost every other drug is falling. According to the latest federal figures, which were part of an annual survey monitoring the future, more than 12% of 8th graders and 36% of seniors at public and private schools around the country said they had smoked marijuana in the past year. About 60% of high school seniors said they did not view regular marijuana use as harmful, up from about 55% last year. The report looked at a wide variety of drugs and substances. It found, for example, that drinking was steadily declining, with roughly 40% of high school seniors reporting having used alcohol in the past month, down from a peak of 53% in 1997. Cigarette smoking has also fallen precipitously in recent years. For the first time since the survey began, the percentage of students who smoked a cigarette in the past month dropped below 10%. Officials want to keep home grows for medical marijuana patients from the Seattle Times. The State Liquor Control Board recommended that home growing still be allowed for medical marijuana patients, reversing an earlier proposal that inflamed activists and patients. Board members who are charged with implementing the state's new recreational pot system want to allow patients or designated caregivers to grow up to 6 plants at a time, 3 flowering and 3 non-flowering. Quote, "Enough people in the medical marijuana community convinced us. We listened to them," end quote, said Sharon Foster, Liquor Control Board Chair. Those who called for retaining home grows also included Allison Holcomb, chief author of the state's legal weed law, and Senator Jean Cole Wells, Democrat of Seattle, the legislature's premier supporter of medical marijuana. Jury convicts woman on marijuana and child endangerment counts, from Chicoer.com. A jury has convicted a woman on marijuana and child endangerment counts for a grow and conditions at her Conco area residence in 2011. The Butte County Superior Court panel of 4 men and 8 women took about 6 hours before reaching a verdict today in the trial of Daisy Jean Bram, age 33. The jury found Daisy Bram guilty of felony counts of cultivating marijuana and possessing it for sale. Investigators found 95 marijuana plants and 7.1 additional pounds at Bram's Yellowwood Road residence on September 29, 2011. Bram had faced 2 child endangerment counts, 1 each for her 2 young sons, regarding unsafe elements inside the house, including marijuana left in the open and indications of other drug use. Bram, who represented herself at trial, said she wasn't allowed a proper defense, not being allowed to cite her medical marijuana recommendation under Prop 215. Study looks at marijuana demand in Washington, from ABC News. Researchers working with the state's official pot consultant think they have their best look yet at cannabis consumption in Washington, aided by a novel survey aimed at figuring out how much the heaviest users of marijuana burn on a typical day. In a study released Wednesday, a Rand Corporation team figured that Washington's roughly 750,000 marijuana users will have consumed between 135 and 225 metric tons of the drug in 2013. The median figure they came up with is 175 metric tons, more than twice what the state estimated before voters approved Washington's legal weed law last year. Marijuana debate expected to draw a huge crowd, from Fox 2 Now. Wednesday night, a huge crowd is expected to hear both sides of the passionate debate on whether to legalize marijuana in Missouri. Show Me Cannabis Executive Director John Payne will face off with Sergeant Jason Grellner, Vice President of the National Narcotics Officers Coalition, in an effort to inform the public about the pros and cons of making marijuana legal in Missouri, not just for medical purposes, but for recreational use. Payne's group, Show Me Cannabis, gave the Secretary of State initiatives for legalizing marijuana and is now waiting to get the ballot language and begin polling the public. One of the big issues sure to be discussed in the debate is whether legalized pot will increase drug use with teenagers. Law enforcement from across the state are expected to come to St. Louis Wednesday night for this debate, as well as a strong show of support for those who want marijuana legal. It's at 7 p.m. tonight, St. Louis time. This has been your 420 Radio News for Wednesday, December 18th, 2013. I'm Russ Belville. When we come back, we go behind the headlines on the new recommendations from the Washington State Liquor Control Board on how to deal with medical marijuana in the recreational marijuana system. You're listening to The Russ Belville Show on 420radio.org. We'll be right back.